Al had achieved some success with the first album.
It sold well enough so that the record company was eager to make another album with him.
Al was always keenly aware that for this thing to work, we have to stay current. So he was always looking for the biggest possible phenomenon at the time. And along comes Michael Jackson, the biggest thing since sliced bread.
Beat It was huge.
I think it took him all of 30 seconds to figure out Eat It.
Michael Jackson was such a monstrous star.
It was practically surreal, this notion of going to Michael Jackson and asking him for permission. And here's a guy who's being bombarded with every conceivable offer on planet Earth at that very precise moment. And here's this little UFO coming out of nowhere saying, oh, we'd like to do a parody of your biggest song. So, you know, part of us just felt like good luck even getting an answer. And he said yes.
It was important in the case of Eat It to really make it sound like Beat It.
He did a very convincing replication of the music. I always thought that the bong at the beginning of Eat It sounds a lot better than the one on Michael Jackson's original.
That's part of the gag. Al wants you to believe that you're listening to Michael Jackson, and all of a sudden the words are different. And that perfectionism began to show visually as well.
The Eat It video was a big deal.
A number of the dancers and extras from the Michael Jackson video were included.
We had Beat It up on a monitor next to us. We would make sure that the framing was precise to a T. The point was to have him doing the exact move of Michael's, and to have the camera move in on him the same way the camera moved in on Michael Jackson. That's what enhances the joke.
Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it.
At that point, MTV was huge. With one video, you could be seen by every kid in the country.
Al became a star with Eat It. That was his breakthrough.
When Eat It went into rotation on MTV, instantly it seemed like we went from playing for a few hundred people to playing for thousands of people.
As Eat It and the In 3D album began to rise up the charts, the album goes gold, 500,000 copies. Things really began to happen.
Weird Al is bringing you the rest of the weather.
Weird Al Yankovic!
We got so much more attention. The venues became, bigger venues. We graduated from a motorhome to a tour bus.
Once he started getting some money on his own, he bought, of course, a much nicer car.
He moved into a nicer apartment.
He even got a water bed.
The other thing is, girls were crazy about Al.
He had a girlfriend in every city. No, I'm just kidding.
Things were really happening for him.
It was like someone turned a switch, and all of a sudden, everybody loved us.
Eat It got nominated for Best Comedy Record.
We never went so far as to expect it.
And then he won a Grammy.
It was certainly one of the highlights of his life.
Even though it was for Best Comedy Recording, it was still a Grammy.
Winning that Grammy is a major proof that Al had made it, and it really achieved what he was trying to achieve.
He took that whole art of parody to another level.
The world began to notice that he was part of pop music, part of the pop culture.
All of a sudden, Al really became, I want to say he became a household name, but he didn't. He became the Eat It guy.
I was with Al the first time that a stranger came up to him and said, "Hey, you're that Eat It guy." You could obviously see that it had moved him. It was just another little bit of assurance that he was doing the right thing and doing it well.
Al is one of the most driven people that I know.
I used to tell him, you get what you put into life.
Changing his life was a long process of really proving himself over and over and over.
What he tries to do is take pop culture and turn it around and make you look at it in his face. And then you can see how absurd we are about what's popular.
Because Alfred didn't fit into the mainstream of society or the trendy people, I think it was his way of actually poking fun at them and getting back at them.
Ow! Al took some pressure off the nerd population, that's for sure.
I think people might be surprised to find out that Weird Al is not so weird at all, but he's just a really cool, hard-working guy who loves what he does.
He's bloomed a lot. He's certainly not a man of the world, and he's certainly not this introverted, pocket protector wearing, computer geek.
He's a nerd. But he's a cool nerd. He definitely is a cool nerd.
And so God bless all the nerds, because he's done well.
country rock star's relentless drive to the top has been witnessed by innocent bystanders.
At 5 years old, Celine would sing anywhere.
And VH1's got all their names and numbers.
Nikki Sixx was already dressed for MTV before there was an MTV.
VH1 Driven, brand new season, brand new stories. Tuesdays at 9/8 Central. On Next Driven, Christina Aguilera.
There was no sense in competing against Christina Aguilera.
People started to get jealous. It was just very difficult sometimes.
Next Tuesday on VH1.